All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lions Pit podcast. I am your host, Nick Gomez. I have a special episode today. 2 guests. We have my good friend, Harry Shepard and James Arcieri. How you guys doing today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Was that
Appreciate you guys coming out?
That wasn't too loud.
Well, no. Talk at your normal level, man. We can. Paul's a wizard. Paul is. I always tell people he's the wizard behind the curtain, but Paul really does do some magic around here.
So you bring my volume up to James's.
Yeah, well, that's the plan.
That's skills.
Yeah.
So,
James?
And not mine down to yours. I love that. We raise each other up.
this is it.
This is the whole reason for this podcast.
Meet in the
There we
middle.
go.
To talk about how we want to raise men up and in an executive athletic form.
Yeah, well, I've come all the way from the UK for this, just for this podcast. So I've been waiting for 7 weeks.
Yeah, got a couple sponsors to fly you in. Yeah, got you taken care of. That's a joke. But you did come from the UK. Let's talk about that.
I did.
Yeah. So what brought you to Austin? You've been here before, correct?
I have. I was here last year for 6 weeks. Came here with 2 friends and enjoyed the city, but didn't get enough of it done. I didn't really meet enough people. I knew one person coming back.
Nice.
So I thought I was trying to find somewhere else to spend January and February of the year, because in the UK, if anyone's ever been, it's not incredible at that time of year from a weather perspective.
Yeah.
other things as well. But so I looking at somewhere to come back to, I kind of knew where to train in Austin, where to shop, like the different little things that make up your day-to-day life. Knew what to do in Austin. So I thought I'll come back, can plug straight into a routine and hopefully meet a few more people and do some of the things that I didn't tick off last time, if that's what makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So when when the last time you were here, you did train it on it? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were here last time, was it more business or pleasure? Because it seems like you're here to train. Like you're just in there getting it every day.
Yeah. Well, I train very hard most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is different this time is that, like I say, I'm on my own this time, whereas I was in a little bit of a clique last time. So with 2 friends and we sort of existed as a 3.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Just like this table.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good metaphor. And whereas on your own, you have to put yourself out there a little bit more. You're forced to be slightly more gregarious with who you meet and stuff. So that's been the difference. It is a real word.
Gregarious extrovert is what you and I both are.
That's definitely what you are. I mean, I'm trying to get there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good, right? That is a great point. Like throw yourself out there solo, make yourself uncomfortable, make friends.
For sure.
Now, when you came here last year, did you at that time realize that On It had this kind of community? Or is this really like kind of like an eye-opening experience for you? Because you came out here solo, but you are not.
He's like embedded now in us.
Yeah, you're not leaving without friends.
Yeah, absolutely right. I feel like it's a very, very different gym to anywhere I've trained in the past. I've trained all over the world in gyms in Southeast Asia, in Australia, everywhere. And some of the experiences you have in On It, we're just talking to 5 people within one hour session, and every conversation is a real conversation. It's not like well, you're training today or whatever. There's more to it, and all of the people I've met in Austin so far have been from On It, which is saying
nice.
something. Yes, it's where I spend most of my day, but that's kind of neither here nor there. Yeah, so it wasn't. I didn't notice too much because again, when there's the community events, for example, all the different things you guys put on. When we were here last time, well, we'd just do our own thing on a Saturday or whatever, because it's us 3 together and we're all friends already. Whereas this time I'm like making the effort to come to the run club or come to whatever. So you're meeting more people. And the fact that On It puts those things on is testament to how they build that community. And actually something I've taken into my own business to try and drive slightly more community. Because that this year was something I had a goal of, is to drive slightly more of that. Because I'm sure we'll get into this, but when you work online with people, slightly difficult sometimes to bring everyone together and to have that community feel. And so some of the things that On It do in person in a gym, we're trying to bring into our thing, which is kind of cool.
Very nice. So let's actually kind of backtrack on that a little bit. What do you do? You're saying you bring it into what you're doing. Let's explain that to the folks.
Yeah. So I work as a online coach. So it's fitness coaching for primarily people trying to do something impressive physically. So whether that's joining the military, doing a high rocks, doing a marathon, whatever it is, taking them from where they currently are, wherever that may be, to the end state that they desire, and whatever that is for that individual. And we work one-to-one with people, but there's that community element as well, which makes people feel slightly more connected, hopefully. And the idea,
in theory,
that's the idea.
Yeah.
And the idea kind of being that, if I use the example of joining the military, if you were in some backstreet town in the UK trying to join the Marines, well, there might not be any of your immediate circle who are on that same path. So it can be slightly isolating to go, no, actually, I'm not going to go out this Saturday. I'm going to go and do my long run on Sunday, whatever it is. And you don't have those connections or those people to hold you to account. So hopefully the community can do that for you.
Yeah.
And probably more so like in the UK because you meet at the pub.
True.
Right? Like in America, it's not as much as that for I think us,
Sure,
but over there, like you go to the pub every weekend. That's how you connect, right?
Exactly,
and so like you are literally isolating yourself.
You
from
take
society.
yourself completely out of that ecosystem.
For sure.
And what we've had in the past, which is kind of cool, sometimes we run in-person events, and some guys have come to that on a whim, being like, I don't know anyone, but I'm going to come in.
Aww.
And they've left with genuine friends. And we had messages from people who create a group chat off the back of that, go and climb Mount Snowdon just randomly together.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing's really cool. So when you see that, you start to think, okay, well, this is something we should pursue a bit more.
Yeah. And you were in the military, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How long?
Did 5 years. So not a sort of a massively long time. And also to get this out of the way before, comments come flying out. But I didn't go to anywhere kinetic. So I didn't go to war or anything, because that 5 years, just by chance, I guess, was 2016 to 2021. And it's a time period where we just left Afghanistan and we didn't go into anywhere else. So that's often a rebuttal with why.
Oh, he didn't really serve. He's one of the little.
You didn't do anything.
You're not a real Marine.
I get that a lot.
Man,
from either serving or veteran.
You still served. You signed
valor.
up. You committed.
It's it. Yeah.
What did you call it?
False valor.
Oh no, not that.
Yeah.
Stolen valor. It's
Stolen
a real
valor.
thing.
Oh yeah.
In the States, it's a big old thing.
Big deal.
We call them waltz in the UK.
Waltz?
Yeah.
Like the dance? Waltz?
Like a waltz.
Like you waltz in and then
Gotcha.
like
Waltz
a
right
little
out.
chill time.
Yeah, it's a Walter Mitty is what we call the full name, but I don't know if that's the thing.
I don't know. Walter Mitty? Isn't that a movie?
Oh, isn't it? The fun life of Walt Mitty, right?
Yeah,
Where he goes and travels around and like gets on the dime. Okay.
Maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know. But anyway, that's what we call it in the UK.
There was one time back in Albuquerque, I got a pair of Rogue silkies, like Ranger panties.
Yeah.
And they were just comfortable to wear around. Like
They're so comfortable.
Yeah, super comfy. And I walk up, I go to a bar after a meet, because I wore them to a work meeting one time. I'm wearing flip-flops and Ranger panties and like a donuts and deadlift shirt.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great. And some guy from across the bar, he's like, "Hey, Semper Fi, brother." And I was like, oh no. I was like, no, nah. And I was like, no. He's like, no, I get it. See you later, man. I'm like, I was like, he was hammered. And I'm like, oh, dude. I was like, I got to go change.
I just stole valor.
Yeah, dude. And like, oddly enough, going back to like 2016, side note real quick, I really messed up my knee playing baseball.
Yeah.
Hyperextension injury hitting first base. So like my knee shot backwards. My femur crashed down on my tibia, cracked it, strained my MCL, LCL, had tears in my calf and hamstring. And so the first two diagnoses I got from doctors was torn ACL. They're like, oh yeah, there's way too much movement. They gave me post-op paperwork, post-op brace. They're like, expect to have surgery on your ACL. Then we got the results back from the MRI where they're like, well, good news is didn't tear your ACL. Bad news is all this other shit. It'll heal quicker. I was like, all right, cool. But anyway, we go up to, I can't remember the name of the place in Colorado. Glenwood Springs. Glenwood Springs is kind of like touristy, really pretty. There's hot springs, rivers. But it's 4th of July weekend. And I'm walking around and I'm wearing a Wounded Warriors t-shirt. Like total coincidentally, I did not put this all together in my mind. It's an Under Armour shirt. And I didn't want to have crutches because they bug. So I'm walking around on a cane. My knee's all wrapped up. I got a Wounded Warrior t-shirt. It's 4th of July in a touristy town. I got like 10 people like thanking me for my service.
Yeah.
And I told my then wife at the time, I was like, we got to go back to the hotel room because I got to change my shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, because her dad fought in Vietnam
Uh-huh.
and he was with us. And I kept being like, no, he's the hero,
Right.
Yeah,
not me.
And
I just hated every time that someone would say something to me in front of him. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh.
It happens, especially when you get like the shirt that has the American flag emblem right here. That would happen to me when I would go do a Spartan race because they give you this shirt when you would do this, like the Ogogi, right? The 72 hour. And it would be like the Spartan shield and then, the emblem of the US flag. And so you're starting this race. And usually events like Spartan race are very oriented towards, the military community.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, which branch are you on? And I'm like, my grandfather fought the Korean War, my uncle, but it's not me, but I'm here to support everything.
Yeah.
Because if you're raised right, you want to quickly preface, I am not trying to be something I'm not.
Oh God, no.
But I am here to support. Full stop.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Which is why I preface this whole conversation.
You're not a Walter
with what
Mitty.
I said.
Yeah.
And actually, it's interesting the difference in how you are received in a military context in the States versus the UK is very, very different.
Interesting.
In the States, it's well respected. In most states, I haven't been everywhere, but Yeah,
It's pretty well respected across
Yeah,
the board.
yeah.
Especially in Texas.
yeah,
Especially in Texas.
Tennessee,
yeah.
Texas. I've got a like olive green backpack, which doesn't look tremendously military, but kind of is ish. And I was in Tennessee. Some guy was like, "Where do you serve?" You know, and I was like,
Then you heard your
"How do you
accent.
know?" yeah, exactly, yeah. And in the UK, it's like the opposite. Sometimes you tell people you're in the military, you won't even tell them sometimes because it's negatively received.
No way.
Yeah,
Frowned upon,
it
huh?
can be frowned upon. Depends on where you are, of course,
Yeah.
who you're talking to.
Is it
but
considered like low class because you didn't go get a college education or something like that?
I don't know if it's so much that we're just not as. I don't think we're as patriotic. Like sometimes being patriotic can be viewed as being maybe right wing, conservative,
Yeah.
and all the way up until like racist. Like some that
Sure.
you can definitely
Jeez.
easily make that connection. I'm not saying that everyone who likes the military in the UK is racist, but there's a connection there. But in the States, it's very, very different. And I think you if you tell someone you were or are serving in the States, it's like a big respect straight
Oh,
away.
absolutely. You get discounts. I mean, and rightfully so.
Yeah, you
get
do.
discounts everywhere you go.
You do, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
my family was big military. And then again, getting into like my ex-wife and her family, like they were huge in the military. They were all helicopter pilots.
Amazing.
Yeah, they were all like Black Hawk. Her father flew a Huey in Vietnam.
That's awesome.
Dude, wild stories. Wild. Because I didn't know anything about Vietnam. Other than kind of what you see in movies like Forrest Gump and shit like that, right? And so meeting them and then going to like Vietnam reunions, I'm like, holy cow, these people are awesome. Like
Yeah.
these are some like truly great people. They got thrown into an awful situation.
Well, remember when we were at Lego Night? We do those, by the way.
Do Lego night.
The story of the Medal of Honor guy who literally was like completely shrapnel. He goes in back. He hears on the radio they need people to rescue these group of 10 guys, and then he literally like he's wounded, hops on, and then drops out of it, or he falls off the thing like 30 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Injured from that, and then continually goes and rescues like 8 people, pulls them to the thing, pulls them to the Huey, and then the Huey has to move because they're getting surrounded. So while it's moving, he's like providing protection
Cover
fire,
fire, yeah.
and they like get your ass in.
Wild.
It's crazy. Some of
There's
those
some-
stories are wild. Have you seen Band of Brothers? I know we spoke
Oh,
about
come
Yeah.
on.
where they skip to the guys who are when they're older talking about it, and you get
Yeah.
the real story of
Yeah.
what was
Yeah, I
going
read that
on.
book in college
love
for
that.
a project because I had to do a project on World War II because my grandpa was in World War II.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Mel Gibson made a movie on Vietnam? I forgot that one.
Was it? I know he made
There because that, and it starred the main football guy from remember the Titans, the white guy who was like the offensive line, I think, or whatever.
Some of those
It's
war
really
movies
well done.
are
It's very
incredibly
sad.
well made, though.
Yeah.
Especially
Saving Private Ryan was so good.
yeah.
That's probably one of my
yeah.
favorite.
And as like CGI and stuff
Yeah.
got better and better, the movies have got more and more realistic. Like American Sniper and Lone Survivor are
Yeah.
incredible
So good. Yeah.
movies. Yeah,
12 Strong with Chris Hemsworth. I'm in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We established
Nice
earlier.
plug.
Yeah. Shameless. But
And
to
by
be
the
fair,
way-
you can't see me in the movie. I
By
am
the
in movie.
way,
You can't see
I'm
me.
in the credit.
Yeah.
Links in the description for that one. But yeah,
Goes right to my OnlyFans.
He gets a cent for royalties on that.
All right, we digress.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay.
we're getting into
Yeah,
Vietnam
sorry.
movies. So,
Yeah,
James, let's get into your story a little bit.
Hi, everyone.
And then also, let's get into your story and then talk about how you
Yeah.
guys met and then
Sure.
what we're up to.
My story, good God. Okay, so as you can kind of tell, ADHD, high performing,
idea.
functioning. Well, you know what? We're gonna get there. So listen, I always had energy, and my parents were like, we gotta put this kid into some type of sports and athletics. So, in America, we call it soccer.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
it's not the right word.
But it's not the right word. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm going with the vocab I got.
Okay.
You can call it footy if you want. But
Game of footy.
proper game of foot, eh?
That sounds so
I'm gonna get
strange.
flagged for that.
Insulting.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not.
insulted for him.
It's our friendship, right?
Yeah, yeah, it just doesn't sound right in your accent. Say footy, so I'll let you have soccer. You're fine.
Okay, thank God.
Did you just
Even
say
though
soccer?
football for you doesn't really involve you.
It doesn't,
using your
right?
feet
It's
too much.
You kick it.
Yeah.
Rugby, in rugby they actually use it probably more. They use their feet more.
Yeah.
Anyway, soccer, baseball, the classic, sports here.
Well, I'd say football and baseball, but sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Proper football. North American football.
Well, yeah.
And then I got into lifting around 15. Okay, quick reason why. I was homeschooled till 8th grade, which is also kind of reason why I had lacked some social skills a little
Explains
bit.
a lot.
Right? Homeschooled till 8th grade, had one friend the first year of school, 2 friends freshman year. And, I was an easy target to get picked on. It just is what it is. You weigh 140 pounds wet at 6 foot. You are skinny. Like you could
Wow.
literally put your arm around, you could take your hand and put it around my bicep.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went my sister took me to this gym of hers, and it was like it was a Lifetime, I think, or whatever. And I was like 15 at the time, and I saw this. I was like, I want to change my life or whatever. I probably didn't think of the existential back then, but I was like, I want to be more.
Yeah.
And so I stood for the biggest guy in there, and I punched him. As you do, to establish dominance.
Those are prison rules.
Yeah. But they don't relate to the. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you find the biggest guy in there and you just let him out.
You say, "This is my gym." No, while he's benching, of course, so that way he can't get up.
Yeah.
No, what actually happened was
Pinned under 225.
I saw this guy benching 405 pounds.
Wow.
Which is not insignificant weight. And after he finished his set, I went up to him and I said, "Excuse me, sir." And this guy was like a 6'4", like proper mate. He probably weighed like 260.
Wow.
Like strong dude. I said, "Excuse me, sir," because I'm still small or whatever, and he's much bigger than me. It's like, it looks like you know what you're doing. Do you mind, telling me what you did? And this was the coolest thing.
Steroids.
He said, "If you come back at this same time next week, every day for a week, I will show you my whole week program."
Oh, wow.
Well, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, especially like to a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Because, he said, and I liked how he phrased it too, if you're serious, you're going to come back at this time.
Yeah.
He set the gauntlet. He opened the door. He didn't commit too much of himself. He's like, "This is my schedule. I'm going to let you incorporate in." And the coolest part that I got out of this is the whole thing about you this year, the community that he established. It wasn't just the knowledge, because I could have Google searched that. I didn't know anyone at that gym. I literally go and meet this guy. And this is kind of why I became friends with, Harry, is because I know what it's like to be on the outside into a gym and how important that very first interaction is, right? Like, because you literally set the tone of like, this is how the gym is. This is the community that we've established here. That's why I joke that I'm this unofficial ambassador of On It. Like the minute I see a new face, having gone there for 3 years, I literally go up and say, "Hey, welcome to On It. Look, are you new here?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, 3 weeks or 1 month."
Yeah, and you immediately think James works there, and you have to figure out he doesn't.
Yeah,
and we have to really clarify that he's not. He's not on the
I'm not. That's why I said unofficial, self-appointed title.
Yeah, anything he says does not represent On It.
Yeah,
there's a good lesson in that story though, right? Where you're being confident enough to go up to someone and actually ask for help.
Yeah, compared to how you used to be at 15.
No, yeah, no, I agree with you guys 100%.
Yeah.
I was okay. So I was also very fortunate, though. I knew how to go talk to people that were of a higher status, if you will, because my dad was a pastor. So I always had to after church, he would always have to talk to the adults and whatnot. And so I had to be able to talk to the adults by myself and just manage or go interrupt and say, "Hey, Dad, Mom's ready to go," because we got to go. So I had to learn how to be like his handler at the time too.
Wrangler.
Right. Yeah. And so you learn at a younger age in that situation how to go talk to someone because they're just a human being. So that's advice. Everyone is just another human.
Yeah.
Treat them with respect. Engage them initially. I said, "Excuse me, sir." I complimented him. "It looks like you know what you're doing. Do you mind showing me or telling me?" And then the coolest part again, he took me through everything. And then it turned out, I don't even remember the poor guy's name because I'd love to give him a credit. It turned out he was like a running back for the Eagles in like the 70s. So this guy knew performance training.
Yeah.
But the coolest part was like everyone at the gym respected this guy. I asked the best guy, it turns out.
Yeah, you picked the right guy.
No kidding.
And he literally introduces me to all his friends to the point, I remember one of his friends gave me one of their lifting belts.
Oh, no.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And then after like 3 months, so like, "Okay, James, you've been here consistently. It's time for you to take creatine." And
creatine.
Only creatine. But like you've earned the right because they're like, "Hey, a lot of people jump right into these type of supplements that haven't even built a baseline. So you don't even know if you're plateauing or not."
Yeah.
And I was just really cool. So fast forward, I weighed 140. And the high school, I think, is the easiest time to really put on size because you got to wake up at this time, you got to eat at these meals. So I went from 140 to 160-ish, like 162 between 15 to 16, and then 16 to 17. I graduated high school weighing 189.
Nice.
So literally changed my whole body composition.
Yeah.
Literally, my high school principal was like, "James, I've never seen a transformation like this before," because like you just went from skin and bones to an actual like
Adonis.
An athlete.
Yeah.
So then I went and played rugby in college. Hence why the nose is like this. Because I took a tackle and I went to tackle a guy and the guy put his knee up and right and
it
happens.
It'll get you.
Rugby's rough.
Rugby was great though, man. It was so much fun So fast forwarding again.
Very English of
that's why we bonded, I guess. And then you know what happened though? I spent 7 years doing hour a day for 7 days a week, doing bodybuilding style, right? And it became a chore because post college, and I no longer had sports. And so once I stopped having something to train for, I was like, why am I just pushing myself like this? This is so hard. And, the lesson learned that I've learned now is and like most people, are very goal oriented in their training. Like, you're not going to necessarily, the average person, push yourself really freaking hard unless there's an event. And that's why I think High Rocks is really cool right now, because it's giving a very accessible mechanism for people. CrossFit seemed probably too high of a barrier to entry. Oh, I don't know gymnastics. I don't know ring muscle ups. All these other things
Olympic
I have to
lifting.
Right? Yeah. And I mean, I love elements of CrossFit. Olympic lifting is amazing. And once I incorporated Olympic lifting in my regimen, I noticed a lot of just strength gains across the board on everything else. Yeah. Because I was doing more compound movements versus just the bodybuilding where you had to just focus solely on this. And that does not activate at all the legs. Go ahead.
There's a huge advantage to the elements of CrossFit you describe there. But I do think sometimes looking at it as a layman or as an outsider, if you're like, overhead squatting or walking on my hands, probably not. Not for me today. If you're just sat in an office watching a video, you're probably not going to go and do that.
Walking on my hands.
But throwing a wall ball at a target, probably can do that. Pushing a sled, I could probably do it.
So, burpees can do that.
Yeah, you can get up off the floor. Like, High Rocks have done really well to just create this thing of these are movements everyone can do to a different scale. And you just need to be able to run, and all of a sudden you're in. So it's been really good to give the average, like you say, the average person an avenue to push themselves and to be able to access intensity in their training. Because like you said, oftentimes if you haven't got something you're working towards, I'm sure you identify with that as well, it's almost like you're treading water a little bit with your training.
Yeah. I had that. So you guys both tap into a good point there, touch on a good point. I had that conversation with Gus last week about High Rocks having that low barrier of entry. And that's kind of what sold me the first time I went to go watch in Dallas in November last year. And I had this conversation with Gus, and we were saying that just seeing everyone kind of at their own spot in their journey. You see people that are walking. You see people that are like really struggling through the run. You see people that look like they're sprinting through.
They're just showing up.
Yeah, and like you said, everyone can do it. There's modifications. He was talking about the guy that was in a wheelchair.
That was insane. His burpees.
So it's like, again, it's accessible to everybody. Whereas in CrossFit, maybe not so much. And I'm not gonna sit here and knock on CrossFit. Everybody.
No, I think to your point, even more so, like. There is definitely an element of an advantage for a person that's been doing gymnastics when they were young, because and then go into taking on CrossFit as part of that element. They totally have an upper hand advantage on me because their endurance on ring muscle ups, bar muscle ups, handstand walks, all that other stuff. They'll just crush me.
Yeah, just their efficiency as well. Like just having done those movements for a period of time. I actually think I haven't got kids yet, but I actually think when I have kids, I'll probably get them into a couple things. Initially, it will be gymnastics, maybe jiu-jitsu, and some other form of sport. I think if you have that base, to your point, everything else later on in life becomes really, really easy. Like mobility and just kinesthetic awareness you have when you do gymnastics for a period of time.
That's hilarious that you say that, because I've always said the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, when I have
gymnastics and jiu-jitsu.
Gymnastics and either jiu-jitsu or wrestling.
What I like about the two elements you just mentioned about wrestling and jiu-jitsu that I've learned is it's an individual sport. Oh, yeah. You get in what you put out. Whereas 100%. Like with soccer and rugby, you have to rely on other people.
Yeah. Or any other team sport for that matter. Baseball.
Well, I was just relating it to my situation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
no. But what I think there's a lot of good elements there too, because like you don't want to have them be so individualistic that they forget how to do compromising and realizing that you have to talk and communicate to another people. But I do think that encouraging them to become so strong on their own work ethic.
Yeah.
Right. Like that they can take for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. And having them as like the single point of fail, whereas in, like you say, football or whatever it is, team sports, you can almost hide a little bit if you want to. If you're not feeling up to it, you can be like, I'm just not going to try quite as hard. The team will carry me, which isn't a great lesson to teach someone, I don't think. And if they're like, well, if I don't put the effort in here, I'm not going to perform the way I need to perform on my own, then it's a separate lesson. I think there's definitely a time and a place for team sports to come in.
I think one of my favorite memories, though, being in a team sport, soccer, I ran the defensive line.
Okay.
So I was the guy I was the right back. So like I was the more, experienced player, and I viewed part of my responsibility because we always did like a 4-4-2, right? So like there was 3 other guys that I was somewhat responsible for.
Yep.
And it was my job to inspire and encourage them, right? And I really enjoyed that growing up. That was a cool like element, like, hey, James, you have to be on your stuff because they're looking up to you and they're going to drop the ball. And that's why also I pushed myself to be trainer. But I think that's also going back to like just self, responsibility. But wrapping back up my fitness journey, because I did the whole bodybuilding, I did the whole, athletic. And then I found myself in New York City and I just gave it up for 2 years. I just went cold. I just stopped completely because it was just
for 2 years?
For 2 years.
Wow.
Like, I mean, I had a good baseline. Like I was probably at like 10% body fat at that point. And I didn't go crazy, binge eating. I just stopped. And I definitely, I got a little lethargic and whatnot. But then what got me back into it was Spartan races. So this was probably like 2014 timeframe. And I kind of jumped into it. I was like, okay, I did a sprint. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to fly to some place and just do a 5K. Then I started, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go all in. And then I did like their endurance events, their 5 hours, their 12 hours, which were more like boot camp style. You're like in the mud, carrying a rucksack, doing all those, team oriented things. Then I did their long distance, the ultras, the more than 26 miles. And then I did their agogis, and that was cool. The 72-hour endurance events in Iceland and Mongolia. And that was a real,
I said, yeesh.
No, those were really cool because then you had to do like land navigation. You had to go like create like survival kits, build a yurt in the middle of the night. And so for me, I was like, that's why I wanted to train. I was like, okay, I'm going to never be the weak link on the team because like you are the weakest link on a team. Or the team's weakest link is, or whoever is not performing up to it or whatever. And you don't want to be that point of failure.
Yeah, you go at the slowest man's pace. You don't want to be the slowest man.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but then I fell in love. I moved to Seattle. I fell in love with trail running and ultra running. And so then I started doing, average 50Ks and whatnot. Farthest I ever ran was a 50 mile. That's my distance. That's the max I'll ever go.
It's pretty savage.
Yeah, well, no more.
I don't even like driving 50 miles.
That's
a long drive, man. On a podcast.
But I bring it all back to why we're now doing what we're doing is, I travel a lot for work. Usually it's like every other week, as an executive at Google, in the tech sales space. And I'd always been a traveling consultant for the last 10 years, like every other week. And, health is a priority because you want to be able to be on top of your meetings. You want to wake up refreshed. And it's very easy to negate the morning workout, negate coming back home. And I've seen people who just stop and they balloon because you're eating out, you're eating all these like high saturated foods. And
not to mention like when you get into like a lot of work travel, there's a lot of drinking involved.
Yes.
You're having work, socials after, and that creates so much inflammation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. I don't think enough people realize the cognitive benefits of having a regular training regimen.
Yes.
Yeah.
We spoke about it at length, but all the top performers at companies or even just globally from a wealth perspective typically have a routine in the morning where they have a non-negotiable 6 a.m., 45-minute workout, whatever. It's not really about kind of separate to what we've talked about. It's not about them performing physically at a certain thing. They're not training for a marathon sometimes, whatever it is. It's just for their mental state. And so they can focus on the actual day at hand and be more productive at work. A lot of people think they're sacrificing time to go and do fitness or whatever. Actually, it's a really valuable investment of time to create a return on investment later that day when you can be more productive, you can be sharper, all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's a huge misconception sometimes from people who just leave it and deprioritize the health and fitness just to go, I'm going to focus on my occupation or my job, when really the highest performers have both. And that's something that I think people miss quite heavily.
Absolutely. I have a good friend of mine, a fellow podcaster as well. He's a former client, good friend. His name's Lucas Salame. He has the New Age Sage podcast. And I used to train him 4 days a week at On It. And there was no goals. There was no aesthetic goals. There was nothing. It was exactly that. He's like, I know I need it for my mental. He's like, I got to do these things.
And
it was a
better.
Yeah. You feel better, but also, like you said, there's just so much like to it, to where you can like, all right, I got it done now. I have the rest of my day. But also, you're thinking while you're lifting. You're again, it's a brain game.
Yeah. I think the unspoken or undiscovered benefit as well is availability to work. If you think about getting illnesses or getting injuries or whatever it is, and obviously those things are negated somewhat by living a healthy and active lifestyle.
Sure.
If you're, for whatever reason, throughout the year, 4 weeks of it, you can't work for, if you're ill or whatever it is, then actually that's 4 weeks you're not making money, you're not moving forward in your career. So whatever it may be, and I just had the same experience where I used to work in person before I went online. And one of my clients was like a top partner at PwC. I don't know, do you have PwC?
Yeah.
It's like an accounting firm. It's a massive.
They're a global
It's
firm.
a massive accounting firm.
Fuck if I know. I was like, nope.
He was the lead partner, and he was a big deal. And he's trained 6 days a week. I used to use him as a reference to my other clients. I was like, he works 80 hours a week and travels all over the place. Still gets 6 sessions a week.
Yeah.
What's your excuse? And so definitely, I think. It's just
Hey, peer pressure is a hell of a thing, man.
It is.
Yeah, peer pressure is great.
Yeah.
I'm all for, and in the right
Context, it can be very healthy.
Channeled correctly, it's very healthy. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. Competition breeds success or something like that, right?
No, it
Something
does.
like that,
yeah. There's a saying. I read it on a fortune cookie.
I said the same one.
We got to quit going to the same payway.
Yeah, that's true.
He did not. Oh, it's funny. I was at Panda Express and got that one.
Oh yeah.
They probably get it from the same manufacturer.
Yeah. Payway comes from PF Chang's. They're like a satellite of PF Chang's.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Payway.
These are all American words. I've no idea.
They're actually
Payway
Chinese.
is actually the name of a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, there you go. Well, it's still in America though. You don't have it.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure it's not Chinese in China.
Probably not.
It's probably characters instead.
I imagine so.
You've been.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Most of those restaurants are in characters and not in English. Yes. Fair enough.
All right. Back on track. So you guys met how long ago?
6 weeks?
6
maybe?
weeks ago?
Yeah.
7 weeks ago.
Okay, cool.
Inseparable mates ever since.
Inseparable.
His look says something different. But
Wow.
no, I'm just kidding.
Well, he's a little hurt because I did leave last weekend to go surprise my mom. Love you, Mom. And
Yeah, we're still rekindling that.
we're still rekindling that because we had
Yeah.
just gone and seen Hamilton, and
It was a fantastic date night, and he left me.
I
He
was
left me.
The best part was though is like, isn't this hilarious? We're watching the Americans defeat the British right now.
True. Yeah.
Irony.
One of my favorite pastimes.
It's such a good one. I was like, actually, we watched the Patriot.
Yeah. Oh, talking about Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
That's a
Cool.
great movie. That
Heartthrob.
and like Gladiators came out, or Gladiator came
Yes.
out right around the same time.
Peak
Right.
masculine
Oh, man.
film.
I loved both of those movies.
Yeah, whenever you need a spike in testosterone, stick one of those on, you're good.
All right.
And
Sorry. Going
Fight
back
Club.
to your question though, how did we meet 6 weeks ago? I don't even remember. Like, did you?
I'm
come up to
assuming
me?
it on it.
Yeah. Did
Well,
I come
on
up
it,
to
yeah.
you?
It was in the sauna. I'm pretty sure. You meet everyone in the sauna, by the way.
This is getting a little more and more suspicious.
Yeah.
I do
But
not.
no,
like,
you're right though. The
Citizens.
conversations in the sauna are
True,
epic.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do not like where this is going. I thought we weren't going to tell that version of the story.
This is the X-ray. No,
100% straight. Just what, ladies? Single.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, because we're in the sauna.
Hey, down bad, boys. We're down bad.
Go
We've
on.
all been so competent up until now.
This is where they change the channel.
This is where like we all
Back to
just shrink
Rogan.
as men. No.
Yeah.
All right, 6 weeks ago.
Anyway, 6-7 weeks ago, I can't remember how it exactly happened, but we just started chatting and Rick figured that we had. I've actually found this with a lot of people in Austin. I was saying to one of my friends back home, is there seems to be inherently, I think it's partly on it or whatever, and maybe partly Austin as well, just for whatever reason, seems to be value alignment pretty immediately with people,
Mhm.
even though completely different backgrounds, grew up in completely different places, whatever, but completely different experiences, but for whatever reason, there seems to be a level of alignment there, and I
Yeah.
think that's probably
If I may tap into
Yeah.
that, if I look at like, because there's 50 states here, right? And
At least.
you can literally choose.
About to be 51
well, yeah.
Canada. Let's go.
Greenland. There might, real talk, you have to really intentionally choose Austin, Texas out of all these other states. It's not necessarily a major job hub from an attraction standpoint, because you have the San Franciscos, the Seattles, the New York Cities for tech, for finance, for marketing, right? Like,
Fashion.
right? Yeah. And like Austin has pockets of that.
There's like a little bit of all that.
Yeah. But like you have to really want to then live in Texas, right? Because it's a controversial state in some people's minds that live on the coastal elites.
It's beautiful.
Whatever. I love it. Agreed. Having lived in New York, having grown up in Virginia, having lived in Seattle, I think Austin does have a very healthy blend of respecting people.
For sure.
Of the food scene.
Music.
It was literally,
art.
MotoGP was literally here and people flew all in across the world last week.
Turns out, yeah, we went and like I was really surprised at the amount of different accents.
International, it's very big. A lot of Latin American people were like here for that. Like at the airport when I flew in yesterday, all MotoGP backpacks and like just hearing people speak in Portuguese. And
we had the same thing. We went out afterwards and everyone we spoke to was here just for the MotoGP. Right?
I didn't realize it's that big.
Yeah, neither did I.
It's because, you know, it's
Massive.
Formula One. And it's
I'm very curious like how the lifestyle of those guys, because you see the Drive to Survive show on Netflix about the Formula One drivers. I'm like, man, these MotoGP guys kind of live that same life, because I'm like,
I think they do.
Are they just constantly chasing adrenaline? Because as we're watching this, I'm like, that is
scary.
Insane.
Like, did you see how close they get?
Yes.
Like there was a mock vehicle that you just sit on and like how like you're literally
You have to like
skirt. Yeah.
Because if you just go with it, you're just going down.
Yeah.
I think as well, there's just a bigger danger component to that. Like you have no car around you to, if you crash it,
not that Formula One has much of a car around it,
true,
but
true.
Motorcycles are totally
and you also have more risk of getting just launched.
True.
Yeah, and there's no surviving that. I don't care how good your helmet is.
Speaking of launching this friendship,
what a transition.
What a transition.
We
works.
we then decided to. I was like, yo, because I'd see him go really hard in the gym working out. He would see me attempting to go hard. You know, like how I
coffee up front.
Yeah.
And
next going hard.
He was like, we just looked at each other. I was like, hey, what workout are you doing? And he showed me his, and I showed him mine. And I think one time you just gave me one of yours, and then we were like, why don't we just actually work out together? It literally was just like, instead of us setting each other, it was like, actually, let's get to know each other, hang out. So we did that.
It's the best way.
Yeah. And then I still remember, I think our very first workout was just a cardio recovery one. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was pulling James
some
back.
zone 2 work.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, no, it was my second workout of the day because I've been doing 2 days.
So I was pulling James back from overtraining, which he probably needs more than not. So you were training for High Rocks at the time, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, you trained already that morning. You'd sent it, and you trained up until that point in the week, and you're like ready to go send it again. I was like, sometimes your workout doesn't have to be balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And
pump the brakes a little.
I took him through a little recovery session. I think he thanked me for it. So
it was skis, it was row, it was then holds on the
dead hang,
dead man hangs.
Yeah.
And it was I was so glad I did it too. And then it was a sauna again.
Yeah. You come back feeling refreshed after that rather than just feeling beat down. And a lot of people's relationship, I think, with training, certainly from a certain background, CrossFit being one of those, really is that unless I'm sending it and I'm in the bin afterwards, I haven't worked out.
Yeah.
And that's something we always try and break, is that mindset of unless I'm sending it, unless I'm in like absolute turmoil by the end of it, I haven't worked out. And that's not necessarily true.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not to be looking to achieve constantly.
Exactly.
So, Harry, how long have you been training properly though?
Training
from
myself,
a fitness perspective.
Probably around 12 years, maybe. I'm 27 now, 15. Sounds about right.
So
Probably
I've been probably, now I'm 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
So about 20 years since 15, dabbling in all the different, I think most of them, and finding out what's right for me. And I realized going also in my corporate career that there's a lot of people, especially now my age and from 35 to 45 or 50, they have a lot of life events.
50?
Huh? Hey,
you look great.
Thank you. That have a lot of life events. They have kids. They are like so set on that next career, or they lose their job. And so there's just all these components where fitness becomes almost an afterthought, right? To your point, like they think they have to sacrifice to get that, or not realizing again, there's all those other benefits, the cognitive, the stress, the sleep,
the social.
Yeah. Finding people that align with you, right?
I mean, think about how beneficial our community at On It is.
Oh my
Not
God.
only like, I mean, at this table
Feels like at home.
This is like a perfect example, but like you have the Lego night, but you have so many different community events that is truly like changing people's
They
lives.
have outlets like volleyball and other things. And
exactly.
There are times on like rest days where I'll be like, I'm gonna go to the gym anyway.
Yes.
Otherwise, I won't speak to anyone.
Otherwise, I won't speak to anyone.
I'm on my laptop. I'm like, I need to go talk to someone. I'm going to go to the gym.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
go sauna.
Further validating this point, hitting it home, I was just with my sister over the weekend and her family, and she's only done really like, she used to do the CrossFit community, but ever since she's had 2 kids, right, she can only really do Ironman style training because she has her bike set up at the house. So while the baby, the 2-year-old is like, or the, sleeping, she's like, okay, I literally have like 70 minutes to get this bike ride in. I can't even go run around outside the house. So either like she got her treadmill there or whatever.
With like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, literally, and like the baby thing. And so like you see that and you're like, okay, it can be kind of isolating, right? So there's such an important component of having that community because again, a life event, right?
Yeah.
She had kids.
Yep.
And she was like a competitive, athlete for CrossFit and whatnot.
Anything like that can just throw your world upside down, right? You have this schedule that you've done for years and you're kind of used to this routine or whatever. And then you have this thing now you have to take care of. You're like, I can't now spend 2 hours in the gym or whatever I used to do, or 2 hours on my bike, and I have to just make it work. And sometimes people aren't able to make that shift when their routine changes. Again, like you said, you stop prioritizing.
But the reason where I was going with the question about how many years of experience, because you built out a pretty awesome team.
Yeah. Well, I think through my own prep for the military and other things since then, you notice gaps in terms of, you can talk about strength and conditioning all day, and the fact that, I didn't do any strength training, as you'll know, is probably not great for kind of injury prevention or anything like that. So that's an obvious kind of gap, and that's something most kind of coaches can plug, is just programming proper strength and conditioning. Yeah. But there are other things in terms of getting injured every now and then, having niggles you have to work with and adapt around, having nutrition concerns. You guys work in pounds, don't you? I was like,
we can talk kilos here.
I was 63 kilos, like 130 something pounds. Yeah. Anyway, to be in the Marines, you have to be.
You were 130 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow.
You had to be.
That was me in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
Really?
I was a chubby kid.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I was the opposite. I had just zero muscle on me, and I was.
You were me basically too.
Yeah. Similar, and I wasn't 6 foot. Still not.
Still not. Just throw that there. Still not 6 foot. Waiting for that to happen. I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah. Are there any coaches that can help with that?
Yeah. Got to break your femur and put a spacer in.
That's true. But anyway, so there, nutrition concerns. I wasn't able to put on weight, and since starting the coaching stuff, I thought, well, how can I plug every gap almost and have a system where people can go to anyone and never be stuck in anything.
Yeah.
And so, if you have a nutrition concern, you've got somewhere to go. You have a strength and conditioning concern, you've got somewhere to go. If you have an injury, you have someone to talk to.
For rehabbing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we've all had injuries in the past.
Yeah.
It's one of the most frustrating things, certainly when you're type A or certain type of person, where you can't do what you want to do. So having someone fix that for you, or certainly give you a strategy to try and get around that, is super valuable.
Yeah.
What injuries have you had?
Oh, brother.
How long?
I've had several. I mean, so how long?
Because you were in baseball, right?
Baseball my whole life, Muay Thai, football early on. I mean, gosh, I've probably broke about a dozen bones.
Really?
Yeah, I've had 2 surgeries on this thumb.
Done my wrist.
Baseball. I've broken a lot of bones. Stitches in the eyebrow, staples in the back of the head.
So Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, Muay Thai is, you know what's funny? I say the only. Muay Thai was broken ribs, broken foot. Those are the only injuries I had in Muay Thai. I had a lot from baseball, man. Like I said, broke this thumb, had 2 surgeries on his thumb, broke this hand, broke this pinky. Football, I broke my ankle. When I was younger, I snapped both the bones in my forearm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I picked up my arm and from here down was hanging below my elbow.
You?
Wow. I actually haven't had many, luckily. I've had loads of sprained ankles, I had broken ribs at some stage. I've had sort of sprained wrists and all that kind of stuff, but nothing crazy. But the sprained ankles are the ones that kind of are an annoyance, because you for whatever reason, I know for a reason really, because you don't rehab it properly, but your ankle just becomes flex, and every time you then go over on it, it's sprained again. Yeah.
See, once I'd start doing the trail running, my ankles, I could just roll them, and I learned how to roll through. I was
do you do a lot of mobility?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. Do you do a lot of mobility?
When I was trail running?
Yeah.
No, I was just it would just naturally come from running. I learned how to use my weight and shift, because you will hit when you're running fast downhill, you will hit a stump and you'll be oh, and then it'll go this way. And so I just learned how to roll through it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I never had sprained ankles, which was pretty cool.
That's wild.
But
crazy running how far you were running.
But I know, college tore left pec. It was on the negative too. I was going down and it just
that's wild.
And it went, I was like,
I've
I
heard
feel like
about that.
I
And
feel like
every
that's a
time
lot less common.
no, I know.
the
Well, I think
negative.
it was because the tension though, because it gets tighter as it's going.
Sure.
So I think it was just too tight here and it just went rippled. And I was like, and thank God you have a spotter.
Yeah.
This is why you have spotters for bench press, you know?
Every time I bench now, I get the fear because I keep seeing people, tear things.
But it went, boom. I had tricep tendonitis in both triceps at the same time because I was lifting with a guy in college who was on roids and I wasn't, and I thought I could keep at the same pace he was. Turns out you can't.
Yeah.
Because also we made the mistake of doing like the tricep extension machine, like this thing.
Yeah.
And
Where you're
that's
like
such
on a
yeah,
shelf.
it's such a bad because like this is the tiniest part of your tricep, right? That it works. And he's like, max weight, 200 pounds. And so I'm like, this like young buck, and I was strong, but I'm not rebounding that quickly. And so I just I had to sleep like this one night. For a whole month, I couldn't extend. I was just like, so I sleep like this.
But I mean, all of those injuries are
recoverable,
and they're that you can work around them, right? And you can always do something. The guy who takes care of our rehab, he used to work in the British military, but it's a place called Headley Court where they deal with a load of different stuff. But he was the head of lower limbs there, which meant basically anyone from shin splints all the way through to...
That's awesome. That's his specialty.
Yeah, all the way through to like amputees.
Oh, wow.
Because it's the military, right? They have
everything
in between.
Yeah.
And so really there's nothing he hasn't seen. And so when someone now comes in and they've got, I've got, a stress fracture or whatever, he's just like, yeah, sweet, got it, no worries.
Yeah, got a
it's
routine
just
for that.
Completely sweeps everyone up, which is fantastic, and it's almost fortuitous that I could meet that dude and bring him on board. So
this is
perfect.
the reason why I asked that question about his team and going back to the backgrounds of like we're all going to get injured at some point, because there were multiple executives that, let's say I'm in a meeting with them and one came up to me, it was my first time meeting him, he's like, hey, you look like you work out, like can you send me some workout programs? I sent him, I was like, oh, I'll send you a hotel gym workout, right? Because he traveled and mine had a lot of lunges in it, or like functions like that. And then he said back to me, he said, hey, I can't really do these because I have bad knees.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, now I know I would adjust. Like, this is why he's got people that know how to program appropriately to the current limitations, but then also maybe help you strengthen those knees.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are in the position where those kind of individuals, I imagine, are just like, oh, well, my knees are just ruined.
They just assume that.
Just ruined. They just feel
There's
like,
ways to rehab.
Yeah, they just feel like it's a normal thing. He's like, well, no, maybe if you lost a little bit of weight, maybe if you strengthen this and this, like you can be out of pain. It's not like impossible. And people often are just operating
They just
under that.
resolve to giving up and like, oh, okay, I can't do squats anymore. I can't do any real proper lower body. So then they're like bigger up here.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say that it is a lot of times people are like, oh, I got bad knees, bad back. It's like, well, you're not using them because you've been babying them for so long. They are bad now, and bad in air quotes.
They're just not strong in that.
They're not strong. Of course, it hurts to do walking lunges. When was the last time you got in that position?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right. You're literally sitting in a chair for this majority of his day as an executive, like on presentations
or an airplane, or walking. But it's still, dude. Even me, I remember I had an ankle injury and I took a couple weeks off. And the first time doing walking lunges after that, I was like, man, my hips and knees don't feel great.
Yeah.
But it's like, and that's someone that's decently athletic. So I can't imagine some high performing CEO that's just on the go working 80 hours a week, like you're talking about your guy earlier. It's like, of course it hurts to do walking lunges. Of course you think deadlifts hurt your back. Yeah. Like you're sitting all day.
Yeah. And
I wanted to go back to this thing that I just recently uncovered because I shared with both of you guys. I was like, man, I get in these Ubers and like I get these tight knee pains and like it's just excruciating. Like I can feel it right here. And I'm like, I have to fully extend, but there's not enough room, or I'm on the planes. And I never had this happen before. And it turns out I was just always dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went to go see Brian at On It, the mobile mammoth, plug.
Shout out Brian.
He first thing he asked me before he, again, like a proper, coach or nutritionist or rehabilitationist, he didn't go to solution. He's asked the questions about like, what are you currently doing your day to day?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, how much water have you had today, James? Like, walk me through your day. And I was like, well, I had a pre-workout. He's like, okay, that actually dehydrates you.
Yep.
So you're less. Okay, that's one. I had a protein shake. Well, again, James, that also a little bit dehydrates you, even though these are liquid like items. And I was like, well,
is there water and beer?
Yeah. I was like, I'll say it to him. I said, sir, I might have had 32 ounces. He's like, James, it's 2 p.m.
Yeah.
You've only had 32 ounces of water.
You weigh 205.
You weigh 205 pounds. You need about 120 ounces in a day.
Yeah.
You are at a fourth of that.
Yeah.
No wonder your legs, because these are sponges and they get really tight when there's not fluids in
Right.
them.
You ever grab that old sponge on the side of your sink that you haven't used in a couple days? It's rock hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I never thought of it like that. And so 4 days later of just constantly, focusing on the just simple hydration, like taking what you literally have right there.
Shout out Correct Energy.
Yeah. Like literally have a water bottle with you. Something that's like that, maybe even a little bit bigger if you're like can't stay on top of your mental game.
Well, to kind of speak on that.
Yeah.
So I go to Game Day Men's Health up in North Austin.
Okay.
And I walk in there to do blood work like 2 weeks ago. And I walk in and I have a half-gallon ice shaker jug. And she's like, yeah, you hydrated? I was like, yeah, I've had one of these today. And, I'll finish another one by the end of the day. She's like, oh, you drink a lot of water. I was like, no, like I don't. I was like,
It's drink enough.
yeah, I know. I was like, I struggle to drink 2 of these,
Yeah.
but it's just wild to me how many people are like, oh, I got
Negate that.
I got my 8 glasses of water. I had 2 of these. I'm good. It's like this is 20 ounces or 25. I don't know, 24.
Yeah.
But it's like you need depending on your body size, like
And
you
if
need
you're
around a gallon.
into athleticism, and again,
yeah.
like if you're
You're
traveling
active,
a lot of work, you
traveling.
get dehydrated in the
You're
airplanes.
sweating when it's 30.
You're sweating in your sleep.
80 degrees in Austin. Like it's a massive thing. The basics are something people miss so heavily, and
often.
that's what you're talking about here, right? Is
Yeah.
Water,
hydration.
sleep.
Dude,
Did you know you need to drink water? Yeah, sure.
You know you should sleep more than 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
My pain is pretty much gone.
There you go.
Like I was in Ubers traveling just this past week. I was fine. Like here, I'm fine now. And like the basics.
Skin looks great. You're hydrated,
Yeah.
baby.
You know,
Let's go.
guys, thank you. I've been working on this.
He's 50 years old, age like he's.
Yeah.
So look, long story short, what I wanted
Long
to bring
story
back,
long.
long story long. Look, the reason why I wanted to partner with Harry is because, there's a lot of people that keep asking me in that corporate setting, James, what are you doing? I want to get back into fitness. I don't know where to start, right? Because they're so busy with their day to day. They, haven't taken the time to go research. And I get it too. But look, I'm not the certified person. I have been able to maintain my health and fitness because I've picked up nuggets from people like you, picked up nuggets from Harry. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this out. Because that's how I am. Right. And ironically, my mind is my sponge in that case.
True.
But I will never claim to be the person that will build the program because that's not my responsibility. I'm just not. That's why I'm partnering with Harry to build this executive athlete program where you're, on the road, you're working high demanding jobs, but you want to get back into a regiment and you want something that's right for you. Maybe you have the knees problem at first, right? Like their team is the team that's going to get you through it. And
To comment on the what we were talking about before, I guess the reason we get such fast feedback of like, oh, I feel amazing after like 2 weeks. They haven't done anything magic in 2 weeks.
I know. The
We're just
basic.
holding them accountable to things like sleep, like drinking water, like moving every day. And these are like, oh my God, I feel amazing. And they have no context of how that feels in the last 20 years before they've pounded their body into submission.
Yeah.
And, and they're like, oh, this is how I should feel. This is how energized I should feel. This is how my cognition should be on a daily basis. And it's like, yeah, and that's what you have this, this is a Joe Roganism, by the way, but you have this F1 car that is your body. You get the choice to put spoilers on, to put new tires on, to put whatever, and you can put the right fuel into it, and then it's going to perform in a certain way. Whereas if you just negate it and you leave it on the side of the road, it's not going to perform in the way you want it to perform.
Right.
And so you have the agency and the power to make it perform however you want it to perform.
Yeah.
And people that often I don't feel like that's the case, and they feel like they're just given this body and that's how it works.
Yeah, just the
It's
cards
not
they
the
were
case.
dealt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
often
kind of
the
to
case.
speak on that, and we were talking about like the first interaction you have at a gym, the first person you
Yeah.
met. The first person I met that was a member at On It was Brad Womack.
Who's
And
that?
talk
Oh,
about
no
like,
way.
the perfect example, perfect guy to meet on your first day there because he's so welcoming and just like the nicest dude. But also look at a guy that's like really turned his body into a weapon.
Sure.
Like that guy is a specimen.
52.
He's a beast.
He's 52, and I mean, I couldn't imagine a better looking 52-year-old. No Diddy, Brad, but you look fantastic.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a proper specimen.
Yeah,
proper
if I look
specimen.
Like that at 50, I don't even.
And then
If I look like that in 3 years, I'd be stoked.
Or go one step further, freaking Todd at 57.
Yeah, and they just ran High Rocks together.
Yeah, and then
Crazy.
Kent, the 70-year-old,
Yeah.
and his wife,
Him and his wife run the
doing
High
high rocks as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then, you see pictures of like the guy who's 92 still doing the Rome Marathon for the last 30 years every year.
Wow.
Like, again, to your point, is like you can have longevity and sustainability. You just have to be willing to learn, listen to your body, talk to people, like sign up for stuff like this.
You have to just work for it.
Yeah.
It's not just a thing that is given. And the older you get, the more effort you need to put in to maintain the same levels of function that you had when you're 25, when you're 35,
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah, you'll maintain strength to a certain extent, but you'll lose power as we age. And so that's one thing I'm big on, like working with my clientele is like plyometrics, med ball slams, kettlebell swings. So I always do all of my clients, no matter what their age, goal, whatever it is. We start off with like a CNS prep where we're working on explosive based movements.
100%.
Just because again, like especially you have your house mom or your CEO dad, and these guys they're not throwing med balls, they're not swinging kettlebells, they're not.
But they
jumping.
bend over to go pick up the box of Legos or whatever, and they're like, or
they step off a curb,
Yes.
and snap something because they haven't had that tissue tolerance because they're not doing any sort of bounding or anything like that.
You know, it's an amazing exercise to do. It's not known as your marginal decade. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
So like the marginal decade is the last 10 years of your life. You don't know when it is. Obviously, say you live till 80, it's 70 to 80. And figuring out what things you want to be able to do from a performance standpoint in that last 10
lift
years.
up your grandkids.
Yeah. Walk a dog, like still have sex, whatever it is. Right.
God, I
and
hope so.
I mean, I don't even have it now, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Wait, how do you do that now?
if you're able to do those things and figure out exactly what you want to do, then you can reverse engineer it and figure out, well, I'm 27, I'm 36, whatever it is. Now, what do I need to be able to do now to make that happen when I'm 72, 73, 74?
Yeah, and it starts now. Like you said, like if I want to continue to have those good habits as I age, I got to build them now. And that's one of the things, like I still play in a men's league baseball. Yeah. I still do Muay Thai, dabble with Muay Thai. But golf is the thing, like, in 10 years, who knows if I'll be able to play baseball? Probably not. In 10 years, will I be able to do Muay Thai? No, but golf, I hopefully I die at like 98 years old on a golf course.
Yeah.
Well,
you can still rotate. You're fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I also recently saw, like this one trainer, he's pretty popular on Instagram. I don't remember his name, but he talked about the importance of cross body movement training. Mm-hmm. So like you said, like a golf swing is cross body. So ironically, again, Harry would know to incorporate that. I just always loved doing sledgehammers on tires. I just thought that was
trains that.
Which does, but again, I stumbled into it. I didn't know the science and mechanics.
Accidentally doing it,
right?
For that.
Yeah. But I loved it because I was like, oh, this is kind of like a natural movement, like chopping wood and everything like that.
I think they said chopping wood actually, or that movement, increases testosterone more than like a lot of other movements that you think.
Really?
For sure.
Well, it is full body if you bring the proper swing, drive through the legs, and then slam. But
if you video it in a check shirt and post it on Instagram, it's equally as
testosterone through the roof.
It's great. Yeah. That's chopping wood, by the way. But yeah, you're right. It's including things that are real world movements that aren't just.
Well, a lot of people fail to train in a rotational pattern once they're done playing a sport. You can argue that every sport is rotational. Running has elements of rotation to it. So again, you can argue every sport's rotational. But the amount of people that hurt themselves driving and reaching into a backseat of their backpack or whatever the case may be, like because so many people fail to train in that plane of motion.
Now, Nick, if you only have 5 minutes left with us, hint, what are questions that you want to ask?
A couple questions. What's is this going to be an app?
It is delivered through an app.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name?
The name of the app?
Yeah.
Fitter, it's called. So it's a third-party app that we use to deliver the programming because it's the most seamless and easy to use one. I
use Train Heroic for my clients.
Similar kind of thing.
Okay.
Where it'll just be laid out exactly as you need it, and you just follow it as a kind of script or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when does this launch?
So it'll be next week, I guess, right? We're filming the content for it this week. Yeah.
Well, I hope to have everything ready by end of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But worst case scenario, go like and subscribe his Instagram.
You'll see all of the updates.
Your Instagram.
And yours.
And one. Hello.
Hello, love. That's my little accent. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was embarrassed. I feel bad about that. No, I'm just kidding. So you say your target demographic is like the high performing CEO, but is this something that everyone can do?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's scaled to the individual's level. Yeah. So we work with, like I say, people who want to join the Royal Marines, which are fairly elite. People who want to just get off the sofa and run 5K or whatever it may be.
Do a high rocks.
Yeah, exactly. But provided you are willing to put some effort in and allocate some time to this, it can be at any level with whatever goal you kind of have in mind.
Yeah, and like I said, allocate time to it because for like 3 years now, I've paid for Lane Norton's like macro tracking app. Yeah. And I'd say over the last year, I've probably used it like 3 times. Yeah. I'm like, God dang it, why am I still? But I'm like, it's not why am I still paying for it? It's like, why am I not holding myself accountable?
Yeah.
How much do you pay for that?
I believe it's $79 a year. $79 American dollars.
Would you say if you paid 10 times that, would you track?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. When you commit, no, for sure. Yeah, when you commit that sort of investment, yeah, like it's a car payment. You know, of course I'm going to drive my car. I'm paying for it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people think that they'll just get this free program off ChatGPT or they'll pay £20 for
not going to value it.
You're not going to follow it.
No, I know originally I said 35 to 50. It was mainly because like these are people that I've noticed common themes with life events. And obviously I'm 35, but like, you know, if I think you are a person that, you know, travels a lot, you're a person that, you know, you're high performing in your work, you're trying to crush it, but you want to remove the cognitive load of having to design a program, navigate your body composition, and work with people that are really, really freaking good, that are going to hold you accountable and get access to their community, then I would say this is something to look at.
Yeah. Well, I think, sorry, not to cut you off, but that is a great, I've heard this from a lot of high performing individuals. Because I've always thought, I was like, man, if I didn't have to work, right? If money was not an issue, I'm like, man, I would learn how to cook. I would learn all this stuff. And then someone brought it to me, they're like, well, why would you learn how to cook when you could spend that time doing something else and pay someone?
Yes.
To cook for you. And I was like, man, I never thought about that. Because I had again, to bring up my friend Lucas, he's a brilliant individual. But I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you should learn how to golf. He's like, I can spend, because that takes a long time to learn how to do. He's like, I can learn so many other things in that same amount of time. So it's like, yeah, why would I go to Chat GPT and try to put myself through this workout? If you're a high performing individual, I can just pay someone to do it for me. And like you said, it kind of takes out the cognitive load of like, okay, what am I doing today? What are my sets and reps? What weight am I using? What movement?
That's
like,
why
what
some
patterns
people
am I
love
hitting?
going on it so much. They go to those classes. It's right there. You coaches take them right through it, and they can. But they also know if they're going to go to that class, it's going to be a hard class.
They're going to get it.
They're going to get it. And it's bandwidth, right? We have a certain amount of bandwidth throughout the day, and you allocate it to things you need to allocate it to. So if you've got a really, really high stress, high pressure job, you don't need the stress of going, well, how many miles am I running this week to train for my marathon or whatever it may be. Yeah. That you don't really need to think about. They're not the levels of cognition you need to give to things.
Yeah, and I might have this conversation with you. It might have been, I don't know why, maybe been Larry the other day, but we're talking about kind of taking the thought out of these things. And in baseball, did you play baseball growing up?
Yeah.
There's a play called a hit and run. There's the runner stealing and the hitter just even if it's not a good pitch to swing at, swing anyway, try to distract the catcher, but you're trying to hit the ball. And I loved being the hitter on a hit and run because I don't have to think. I know I'm swinging no matter what. Yeah. So it's kind of that thought of like, I don't have to think. I'm okay, cool. Tell me I'm running 5 miles. Tell me I'm running 9 miles cumulative this week. Cool. It's 2 miles here, it's 3 miles here, it's 1 mile there, whatever. Like, tell me I'm doing that and just let me go. Don't let me, if I have to sit there and think about like, oh, is this a curveball? Is this a fastball? Is it a slider? Is it a strike? Is it a good pitch to hit? Like, nope, I'm just swinging unless it's in the dirt or 10 feet over my head. I'm swinging. Yeah. And it kind of, so again, to take that thought out of it, and you almost go into like an automated pilot or autopilot mode, like it clears the mind a little bit.
Yeah, it gives you access to another level of like intensity. If I'm following a program that I trust, I'm going to give it what it needs to move it forward. Yeah. If I just have made what I'm going to do up on the spot, and I'm not fully bought into that process. I'm like, well, I've got to wake up and do a 70-minute run. Well, if I don't know why I'm doing that 70-minute run, it's not like built out, there's no narrative to it, I'm not going to be that bothered about missing it or whatever. So I think having something that's built out in a certain way for you as an individual means that you can buy into it a bit more. Yeah. And obviously you get out what you put in with these things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And on that, we got to get out.
Yeah. All right, cool. Tell the people where to find you on the gram. Or on any socials.
Yeah, Harry Shep Fitness on everything. Whatever you want, TikTok, Instagram.
And I'll be tagging you guys. We'll take a picture and obviously be tagging you guys on the post.
Good. James Michael Arcieri on LinkedIn and Instagram is Jungle James #1. The #1. But yeah, if you just even search James Michael Arcieri, I'm gonna pop up.
We were talking about that the other day, how wild it is that people use LinkedIn as like a social media now.
Yeah.
Like people like posting pictures of their kids and stuff in there. Yeah.
But it's a great outlet for us to That's where
that's your
people-
audience. Yeah, I mean, your
Yeah.
target audience. Granny, like I said, you can cater to anybody,
Yeah.
but that is like your target
The corporate
demographic,
folk.
which makes sense because
We're coming for you.
You come from that world, you know, you experience it firsthand. You know how to help them. Like it is a fantastic
Harry.
combo.
It makes sense.
Let's make the world fitter.
That
Bye, Nick.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you. Namaste.
Yeah, again, we'll have. When are you coming back?
it'll minimum be October, hopefully before.
Why do you have to do
I know. Sorry, I hate to bring that up.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're doing. We're doing Rome. High
We're gonna
Rocks.
do Rome High Rocks.
That's at the end of September.
Yeah. Wow. You
Yeah.
know
We're
what?
going for my birthday.
I'll come straight back.
Yeah, you're gonna come back with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're bringing him back.
Yeah, because Ant and I are gonna do that. Like I said, I think it's like
You're doing Rome right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Amazing.
my birthday is October 6th. I think Rome is September 28th or 29th, or maybe
I don't
both.
think we're recording it.
It was, yeah, we are. So I'm gonna go out there, hit High Rocks, and probably stay out for like another eight days or so.
Amazing.
And
Yeah?
try to make a trip of it. Yeah, it's my
Oh,
birthday.
dude.
I've never been to Europe.
That time of the year, you should also go to the Dolomites, or go to the Swiss Alps because the hiking is still perfect. The leaves have just changed colors to gold and green, not gold, but from green to gold. It is awesome.
It's a great place.
And the Swiss Alps haven't really like been snowed yet there. So you go to Zermatt. It is so darn pretty.
When I take
gorgeous.
a proper European vacation, I'm definitely gonna hit you up.
Yeah,
for
dude. Like
some
I
rides.
literally
This will probably just be Italy for
Yeah.
this trip.
end of September, right?
Yeah.
Dude, no, like if you're going to Rome, you could quick get on a train, go to Venice, get a rental car. Maybe I'll
Let's
even
talk
come
about
do-
this off
Maybe
camera.
I'll maybe I'll even freaking do it with you because like well, frig it out.
I think a group of us are gonna stick around after High Rock. So
Sounds
yeah, we
good.
we
Look
can
at
we
these.
can
This is why you sign up for this guy.
striations.
So you can look like that.
Just to wear tight t-shirts.
All right, cool. Let's rein it back in, boys. We're almost there. Cool. Anything else to add?
All good.
You know what? Yes.
Hit the mic.
Yeah.
You have a mic. Yes, hit the
let's
mic.
look at Harry, let's do some quotes. Ready?
Quote.
Life mantras that I have lived by that I will encourage you all is, you know what? The answer is always no unless you ask. That like at the gym with that guy. I didn't know was he gonna say no to me if I asked him for help? Like you go out and ask.
Yeah.
Same thing about a job. Like that's how I got one at Google. I went on LinkedIn. I shot a very specific message. I didn't just do a generic one, very tactical. And that got me an interview. And
Nice.
then, 3 years later, like again, the answer is always no unless you ask. And then if you ask and the answer is no, you adjust your energy. Then you pivot. Like it's a data point. Like it's a
Yeah.
really helpful thing. Because if you don't, you're just like, well, should I do this or not? Well, then just freaking act, right?
Yeah.
So that one, and then what is it about? It's this, the German proverb about if the wind's not blowing the right direction, then adjust your sails. Use that momentum again to help you figure out where to go.
Yeah.
And then my other motto has always been like, you know what? If I can't get through the first floor, I'm going to build a ladder and I'm going to somehow get through the chimney.
Yeah.
Like that's the intentionality that you need. Do you have any that you go by?
Literally one I was thinking of when you were talking. Just consistency beats talent, and that's something I always anchor into because I view myself as not particularly talented in anything, but I am incredibly consistent, and that's why I think I've managed to get to wherever I've got to.
You've built a very
so
successful
far.
business because of that too.
Yeah, I think so, and that's anything on social media, anything physically. Like I'm not tremendously talented. I think just showing up every day works pretty well.
You, Nick?
Babe Ruth, you don't let the fear of striking out keep you from swinging.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott.
That wasn't Gretzky?
No. That and everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Yeah,
Those are my mottos.
And then also that was like, wait, everybody's Wayne Chang. What?
Everybody Wang Chung tonight?
What is
That's
that?
like an old 80s song. We'll talk about it later.
We can play it over there.
Yeah.
We'll play it out the outro credits.
That's our
We'll play
outro
that
credit.
song.
So we-
yeah.
Don't get copyrighted. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Lions Pit podcast. Again, I am your host, Nick Gomez. With me today,
Roar.
we have Harry
'Cause
Shepard
the Lions Pit.
and then James Arcieri. Shout out to Game Day Men's Health up North Austin. Hit up Greg Tyler up there. Get your blood work done, guys. If you're feeling lethargic
Get
or
your
you
T
feel like
count.
you're not recovering, go get your blood work checked out. Game Day does a great job of that. Shout out to correctlife.com, Correct Energy. Aubrey Marks' new energy and focus supplement. I'm on it every day. I love it. Represent it. I take it before podcasts, take it before golf, before a workout, took it before High Rocks, felt great. So that's correctlife.com, correct with a K. And then last but not least, shout out to LSKD and the fine folks over there for providing me with the finest workout apparel. Don't forget to tune in next time, guys. We'll have another fantastic guest for y'all.